Okay, welcome back. All right, so we created our opportunity, we picked our checklist type, and then we created our dot loop. So I'm going to click on that go to transaction button, and I logged into dot loop. Now I logged into dot loop. So you can see that this auto populated all the information from our details section. And then down below, you also see our people, which I'm in here. It's already auto populated with my client's name and my Rainmaker's name. And then if I were to open up any of these documents and I was trying, I could see the pre-fill information that's been pulled over from the command will be right in there. So at this point, this is where you do your normal thing. You send out for signatures, you collect your documents. If somebody's um, sent you something through a different dot loop, connect it to this one because this dot loop is the one that's going to be synced to your command. So it is very important that you create your opportunity first and then your dot loop through the command. If you create the dot loop first and then create the opportunity, they won't sync. It's still totally possible for you to download that document and then re-upload it into command, but it takes a little bit more work. But if that works for you, more power to you. But if you create the opportunity first, then the dot loop, it will be synced to it. So we're going to say that I sent all these out and I got them all signed, and everything is fully executed. A tip I like to tell people is I see a lot is where agents, oops, will put an F and E for fully executed, or they will create a separate folder for fully executed documents and they'll plug them up there once they're ready. It just kind of depends because in a second you'll see why. So over here in our opportunity again, clicking on add a file because we're ready to add that listing agreement in there. We have three options. We have manual, which you can drag and drop from your computer, or if someone emailed you the document, you can drag and drop it from there. Or we have dot loop, which is the cool part, the baby little mini version of the dot loop we were just in. So you can see it looks identical. So the FE was that new folder I just created, and I renamed my listing agreement. And you can see that this is the one I want. If I look down below, I can see all my other documents. So I'm going to pick that one and push assign. When I push assign, it pulls it right from dot loop into command. And I can see that my status right here has changed to open. And so now my folder is open and it's starting to be filled with my compliant documents that I want to have reviewed from the admin staff. So if I click on this, it will pull up the document too, so you can take a peek at it, make sure it's the right one, whatever you like there. And then you just start plugging in. You plug in all your documents, make sure they're all compliant in here, um, and then you can submit to the Market Center. So when you submit to the Market Center, right here, it's going to ask you, are you sure? Make sure you're all ready to go, and you can click submit. I'm not going to click submit for this because I don't want this to update. So right here, this says open right now, but after you click that submit button, it will say submitted. So you will know that you already did that part, that you sent it along to Mandy, which is I'm the one who does the compliance. And then I can check on it and either approve or return any documents. So, the big number one question I get all the time is when do I submit my opportunity for review? And what I like to say is wait till you are under contract. So, when you are under contract with something, whether it's a buyer or a lister or a seller, let's just keep it the same. You are going to submit when you have a signed, accepted, under contract deal. So you can get your documents for your listing, prep it all up, just let it sit there. Or if you really want to, you can submit it right then and there. But the only time that we're really telling people to submit is once they have that under contract. They'll be submitting the listing, the under contract, and this offers and commissions tab, which we'll get to in a moment. But you're going to be submitting one time, but three different folds. places. So that's why we say it one time, but three different places, just to try to make it a little bit more simple for submitting for review. But if you want to go ahead, submit that, we'll get that approved right away, and then we can move forward with under contract. That's also fine. Whatever works for you. Um, so at this point, I want to pull up one of my opportunities that I've been playing with to show you what it looks like after the opportunity's been returned. So let me get in here. Okay. So this opportunity has been returned a few times. Doo-doo-doo. Let me just prep it for you. Okay. So you can see that the listing folder right here has been approved. All the documents are green and they say approved, which is pretty straightforward. It means you're good to go. And the folder is good, it's approved, it's great. Under contract, it did just say just a moment ago, it said returned, but I changed a document, so it went to back to changed. But it would be red and it would say returned. So these used to say returned, but I replaced them. And that's what it trained. It changes to, oops, it changes to a purple color once it's been updated. So, oops, I clicked that button right there. Just move the order of what documents. Just to show you what the return button looks like. See if I can find one. These I'm clicking on right now. If you're, we'll go over in a little bit, but these are different versions of our transaction. So in case it ever mute releases, you can just start a new one. But here you go. Here's one that says returned. So this is what it looks like. So if you want to pop into your opportunity real quick and you can take a peek at this, you can see, yeah, returned right away. There's something going on. I need to update something. I need to fix it. You can see that documents will either be returned or they'll be flagged as missing because they just haven't been uploaded yet. And then once they're uploaded, you submit to the Market Center again, and it changes to submitted and it waits for it to be approved or returned. The really cool thing about the return part is normally, I return documents and you're like, why is she returning these documents to me? I don't know what's going on. There will be a little text bubble right here next to the document that says returned. And it will, if you hover over it, it'll do the same thing. It'll pop up this little window and it will tell you exactly why I'm returning that document to you, which is really helpful with knowing what you're missing. So, if anything like that happens and it's wrong, and you're like, no, Mandy, this house wasn't built, this house was built in 2002. I don't need to have that part. If you want to text me or comment, it's called add a comment right here. I find you can see that I've tested it out earlier, but this is one of my favorite parts about command is the communication part. It's staying out of your email. It's it's con it's confining everything to one spot. I really like that. So if you you can message, oops, yourself. Let's just see. This just adds a message to the file. It's not directed at anyone specifically, but it's just added in the file. And it has a time and a date stamp on it, which is really cool. The next part is my fave. You put that little at symbol and you can pick from your team members, plus me. I'll be in there also. You can pick your team member, type them a message, push reply, and it will send them a notification on their screen. See where that little red dot is? I have a notification. And then also, if they have the Kelly app downloaded onto their phone, it'll pop up on their phone letting them know that they have a message. Really, really cool. I think that's amazing because then you can click on that on your phone and it will bring you right into this opportunity and it will look just like this right here and then you can address it or you can wait. So what I'm going to show you over here is that notification. And when you click on it and you click off of it, you see that it still was a red dot. It doesn't go away until you click this dismiss button. So you can see that Amy Jo had messaged me earlier what something about her inspections tomorrow. just to let me know what's going on. But if I click off of it, it still sits there. So you know how you get a text message in the middle of the afternoon and you're like, oh yeah, I'll deal with that later, and you totally forget. Well, this is the really cool thing. It doesn't go away until you click that dismiss button. So I'm going to leave that there because I like to time block my day very strictly, and I will look at that when I have time to do that part of my day. I love that. I love that this bubble stays here too, that knows, so then I can be like, "Oh, what did we talk about? I can't even remember." And then I can just pop into the conversation, pop back out of it, and move on with my transaction. I just really think that was a really, really smart idea. So if you need to communicate with me with that, that it would be a perfect place for that. So the next step we are on is if I go back to my test one over here, this was the one we were actually working on, would be our listing, and we're getting to the under contract part. So we're going to be talking about next, we're going to be talking about offers and commissions, and how to start one and make one, and how that loops into here. So thank you, and I will see you soon.